Hi guys, I am Deepa. I'm the founder and CEO of Journyz from Zinda, a software platform that is used to get organizations act as one. Now, today's episode of Shakti Shots is all focused on something that is impacting all of us right now. With all of us working from home, it is hard for everybody to work out, right? Before we used to have a routine, we might have had, where we went to the gym or worked out with our friends. Not anymore. And now, in this kind of scenario, what do we do? So that is today's challenge all about. Here with me, I have Trent Clark. I'm going to hand it over to Trent to tell us a little bit more about himself. Trent.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Deepa. I'm thrilled to be with you. I am an entrepreneur by trade. I've owned a fitness gym. I've owned 9 different companies, and I am a member of the entrepreneur organization. But most people know me as a coach in professional baseball. I coached there over 12 years and went to the World Series 3 times as a strength and conditioning coordinator. So I worked and trained up all these famous athletes on how to physically and mentally prepare themselves for the game.
Awesome. So Trent and I have been working together for a while because we partner on one of our initiatives. But as Trent was saying, he's known the best for what he's been able to do outside in the sports arena. So now, Trent, I'm not sure about you, but I used to be really, really good about fitness. Before this entire COVID thing hit, I used to wake up at 4 a.m., no issues. I used to go teach. And now I find myself waking up at 7 a.m. and I keep my alarm for 5:30. I want to do it. I want to exercise so badly, but I'm just not able to do it. So, and I know that this is something that you have worked, not only with the athletes, you do the same thing with yourself and also with businesses. But, we figured this is a big area of expertise for you. So, Trent, how do we solve this? What is the solution for this?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things we could be doing, right? And first and foremost, I think that, the big challenge is maybe setting a system in that works, that's repeatable, regardless of where you are or what you're doing, because, it is a big change to do something home. For me, as a traveling guy, I speak, both domestically and internationally, and I have a regular routine that regardless of where I'm at, it just fits in the hours of the day based on wherever I'm at, right? And that has become a little bit habitual to design, because I could be on very strange time zones, right? It can get a little weird. So it's pretty crucial how we'll do that. So we might jump into that a little bit today.
Sure. So did it come naturally to you, Trent, from the beginning? So stop right now, because it does not come naturally to most of us.
Yeah. I would love to say that it did come natural, but I would say no, it did not. Good. It did not come naturally. I mean, I think when I look at, starting out and where it was, there was a lot of learning I certainly had to do. Let me do this. I am going to share with you a little bit, a couple slides for you, just that I think could be really valuable. Hopefully you can see my slide deck there, and just tell you a little bit about my story first, right? Which is
that you?
Yeah. So in that picture this is opening day back way back in the 90s when I used to coach with the Tribe in Cleveland, and that's me and Illinois native Jim Thome, who's a famous local athlete there in the Illinois area, and a big fit guy, strong. And when I came up, I think you're exactly right, Deepa. I didn't know the direction I was going. I didn't know how to do things very efficiently either. And, as this kid growing up, I wanted to be a major league player, and I had some goals in my mind. And I had a very significant event happen because I met a major league player at a baseball camp. And I was intentional about going to this camp because with the opportunity that I might meet him and learn some things. Mm-hmm. And I was really frustrated. Because, Deepa, have you ever been told, no, you're not good enough, or you're not enough in something?
All the time.
Yeah. And I was being told that all the time, and I was frustrated with it. I was working really hard, and I wanted to keep the enthusiasm and self-encouragement, but I didn't feel like I was getting it anywhere else. And other than my parents, right? They were very encouraging. And so here I meet this guy, and I had this great week at his camp, and he asked me, he said, you know, what do you want to do? And I said, boy, I want to do what you did. I'd love to play in the major leagues. And he said, you know, you have what it takes. And I was like, whoa, this is such a good moment for me, because here I was trying to impress this guy I clearly had. And he told me this, and I said, you know, sir, with all due respect, I so appreciate that. You don't even know how much, but everybody's telling me no. I'm not big enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm not strong enough. Till my mind starts telling me things that I'm not enough. And he said, boy, that's really tough, Trent. But he goes, I got to ask you, these people that are giving you this advice and giving you this feedback, did any of them play in the major leagues? And I said, you know, no, they didn't. And he goes, I'm going to caution you right there about where you get advice from, because you're going to want to learn from people who are in the know. And you may be asking people that don't know anything about it. So I don't know if I'd follow that advice or listen to their feedback, because they may just be guessing. And I thought, wow, that day I really became a believer.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, from that, I tell you that, you know, when you talk about people that are certainly talking about where we're going to go from here, this is probably the biggest thing. I could have listened to that criticism and just said, hey, I'm cashing it in. Or I could have learned to someone who was willing to coach me and guide me and give me coaching. And that's a challenge that we all face. What do we do? Do we get that criticism and consider it negative and get defensive? You guys are all wrong, I'm right, and shut it down? Or do we get coaching and open up our mind? And as coaches, I've got to battle this, because how do I encourage someone and not be too critical? You know, I love the Michael Hyatt quote, criticism is like medicine. It's lethal if given in the wrong dose, right?
Very true. Very true. I've experienced it myself. Yeah.
That's such a tough one. And then, you know, I'm asking myself, am I enough? Am I enough? And I want to be self-encouraging. And there's a famous quote that says, encouragement is oxygen to the soul, right? From George Adams. And I just thought that quote just spoke to me like, man, it keeps giving us breath. It keeps giving us momentum to move forward. It's so critical. And then, of course, I've got to ask myself, am I coachable? As someone's trying to give me that good advice and I go to someone in the know, do I listen? Do I follow that advice? Do I yield it and then go out and apply it to my situation and execute on that? That's such a critical one, to be able to lean into that criticism and recognize, hey, what do I need to learn to get better? As opposed to me getting defensive of what I'm not or what I'm not doing. Ask more questions about what's the key advice, what's the tip, what's the guidance you can get from when you get that information. So important.
Interesting. Okay.
You know, the next challenge that you get, I think, from working out is in the fitness world, are you interested or you're committed? And this certainly applies to business. It applies to any seat you're sitting in. But are you interested or are you committed? And when I come to fitness, I think, boy, I'm interested in losing 15 pounds, Deepa. I should be taking your
So am I.
right? I should be, you know, I could take dance class online. I
Sure.
could get my teenagers up and start working out with them. I could buy better groceries and build a better framework of eating, because I got a really controlled environment right now. And, you know, I'm interested in drinking 3 liters of water a day. And, well, I am super interested in these 15 pounds. And all that interest is not going to shed 1 pound until I actually get committed to doing it, right? Now, you'll know I'm committed to losing 15 pounds because I'm online on your dance class every time. I am waking up in the morning and getting my fitness routine done. I am following my schedule and choosing the right foods. I am getting those workouts with my teen boys. I'm doing all those things, and that commitment now shows. And I always like to say, hey, interest is talking about it, and committed is doing it. And it's very visible.
Commitment, you can actually see the data, right?
That's right. You can see it happening, right? Like we always like to say in sports, you know, the video doesn't lie. We can go back to the tapes and see, am I really in position? I was really showing a lot of effort on that play. I was working hard. Oh, let's go to the video. Were you interested in working hard, or were you actually committed to working hard in that moment, doing the small little things that we need to see? For sure. You know, the other thing that we have as we go through fitness is pain. right? And you always hear it, no pain, no gain, right? Like
Yep.
it's so common in the fitness world, but in life, there's two pains, right? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And I always like to tell people, we're going to have pain. We're going to have pain in this lifetime. I don't know anyone who's been alleviated from it. Like, you know what? I didn't sign on for any of that, so I don't get any, right?
Hmm.
Like everybody seems to get it, and pain will find you. But I always think about that pain of discipline as being acute pain. It doesn't last very long. It's painful to get up at, like you said, 4:30 in
Oh
the
yeah,
morning
so
and start,
hard.
especially in the middle of winter. It's cold. You got a nice warm
Yep.
bed. There's that pain of discipline of getting out. But by noon, you don't ever look back in regret over
Yep.
getting up. I got up, I did something for myself, I started my day, I feel better about myself, I'm healthier. There's all these benefits you're getting. But
Mhm.
the regret of you not doing it for 2 weeks, where you turn over and turn off the alarm, now you're regretting, wow, I just gained 3 or 4 more pounds and I'm
I
not.
was, yeah, I was cursing myself all day.
Yeah, yeah, we have that pain of regret now, right? And
Right.
and I like to say the pain of regret is chronic. It lasts a lot longer. And having gone through training, significant training, I look back and think, wow, we would train so hard till we would get physically ill. I never
Mhm.
looked back at that as a unifier and a team goal as we drove for greatness and being better and bettering ourselves. I never looked at that pain of bettering myself with any regret. It was definitely acute pain. I did not feel great at that moment. But the next day, I was a little sore, but I could go again. I'm ready to go. I knew the day before I got better and I improved myself. I had no regret that I worked hard. And the things I hold on to probably with the biggest regret, the 4 or 5 moments of my life were poor choices in my life, the lack of discipline. And boy, I can call up those moments even from 35 years ago in a
Mhm.
moment's notice and still feel pain and still feel pain. And the fact of the matter is we'll drown out that pain in other ways. If we feel a lot of regret, we'll drown it out with, a dozen donuts. We'll drown it out with alcohol. We'll drown it out with fatty foods. We'll drown out whatever could make us feel good in the short term,
Check,
because that
check,
pain.
check, check.
Yeah, right, right, yeah. And listen, I've been there, you've been there, and
Yep.
here I am, right? The guy with a degree in physical education and exercise
Mhm.
science, and I know what the body does. And even me, I mean, I still follow the path of least resistance. I'm
Mhm.
tired. I get home from the ballpark after a tough day. In those days of fitness and health and training, people like, I want to go to the hotel, get bonbons and a pizza, and watch a movie. And
Right.
now it's my turn to take care of me, which I got to go down to the hotel
Mhm.
gym and get my work in. And it's tough. It's tough to have that discipline in all things. And it's great to sometimes. How can we do that? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how we overcome that
Sure.
winning formula, right? Let's set up and get some achievable goals, because we set up these goals, they're achievable, we start knocking them down. Nothing, what makes us feel better than knocking off our things to do list, right? Like, oh, here's our,
I
what
love
are
my to-do list.
yeah,
Yeah.
right? We get our
Uh-huh.
5 things done. It's like, yeah, I did it, right? Yeah. So let's start setting some achievable
Mhm.
goals in our fitness and set them this week. Plan the work, work the plan, right? Here I'm going to plan my work for this week. This is when I'm going to do it. Then I got to actually go get the commitment. I got to execute on that work. I'm not talking about it anymore. Now I'm working that plan. I'm doing the things I said. And that's that self-discipline. And,
Mhm.
and that self-discipline's a challenge, but we got to get that commitment. Hey, am I interested or am I committed? And sometimes we need a little help. We need a guidance. It's great to have an accountability partner. It's certainly the value of personal training. Hire a trainer, commit to the message. This is one of the best things that actually happens about personal trainer. Whether you have, you know, the Trent Clarks or the best trainers in the world for you, or whether you have the neighborhood, certified personal trainer,
Mhm.
or even a workout buddy, you put it on the schedule, you actually follow through on that, you pay the freight, and now I've got a commitment that I've made, and I've signed up for 10 sessions. It's on my schedule. And sometimes I do that too. I live by my schedule. If I'm going to get committed, I've got my workout in from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. and it's on my schedule. I don't schedule anything else. If you're an
That's a
afternoon lunchtime runner, schedule your runs 12:30. I'm going to
that's
go
a
run.
that's a good way to do it. I mean, for me, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist for me.
That's right.
Having it on the calendar, oh, absolutely. So
And
this
if you
is your
paid,
secret sauce,
yeah, and if you paid
right?
for that, if you paid for that personal training session, you're not going to miss it, right? Like
Right,
you made the
right.
commitment to it like,
Certainly
hey,
not.
it's on
Uh-huh.
my calendar and
Yep,
I've already paid. So
yep.
there's a huge value to that to solidify your commitment. Let's talk about how we go forward today.
Mhm.
3 things. I like to choose 3 things a week that's going to change my behavior, change my performance. So I choose a couple things that I'm going to do. So last week, for example, I chose like, hey, I'm going to commit to a 2.5-hour wake up call before first meeting. That gives me
Mm.
time to get my workout in, do some stretching, meditation, prayer, and then go into a good food. And I've got all that time, shower and be ready to go for first meeting. I also set first week, I set a bedtime. Like I set a bedtime cue that says, hey, at this time I'm turning off technology and this is when I start bedtime cadence. And it may take me 45 minutes, but then the light's out and I'm going to bed. And I found out, wow, I slept so much better
Mhm.
last week by turning off electronics before I went to bed instead of watching something right up until bedtime. And I did that one night and didn't sleep well. So these little things make a difference. This week, what can you do? What can you do? Say, hey, I'm going to commit to 2 walks for 30 minutes, and I'm going to commit to getting up at a certain time. I'm going to commit to only eating. I'm not going to eat any of these foods in this category that I have a tendency to move towards. I'm going to eliminate them or replace them with a better option and a better choice. Those are some little goals we can do, and every week build on 2 or 3 things more that you can do each week for better habit.
Okay, I like it. I like 3 things. Something that can be that you can count, and something that will hold you accountable. And plus, if you have an accountability partner, I mean, for me, that is really the biggest thing, Trent, which is having somebody that I can make a commitment to, because apparently self-discipline is very hard for me.
I think self-discipline is hard for a lot of folks. I don't think you're on an island in that, right? And this is a challenge now because we've had so many things in a challenging time, in a time of pivot that we have to do, that this is just one more thing that we have to change and pivot. We're used to regular workout routines that we're doing at a gym, and now we don't have gym access. So
Right.
do I have weight stuff at home? Can I pull down workouts and do stuff off YouTube, which you can?
Hmm.
There are so many options now in the digital space, and there's a ton of good options that are free. So
Gotcha.
lots of
Cool.
options for you.
Excellent. So your secret sauce basically is, first of all, figure out, are you interested or committed, right? Make sure that you're committed to it. Have a plan, and basically, get an accountability partner and stick to it, right?
That's right.
And then look at the data, review the tapes,
That's right. Go back to
right?
those tapes. Yep.
Okay,
Get good
sounds good.
information and do it up.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Trent. So this was today's Shakti Shots. It's about a secret sauce or a superpower that our panelists have to solve a specific challenge. And today's challenge was, how the heck do I work out when I'm working from home all the time? Thank you all. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye, Trent.
See ya.
See ya.